Hello there everyone and welcome back. It's time to mix things up a little bit, well sort of. For sure, 2 videos with the Tyranids may be more than enough, but there's still something I like this faction. Maybe it's because you don't very often get to be a living beast, a living animal wandering around in space. It's almost exclusively some spacefaring vessels, if nothing else, and you're just a bunch of little people and crew inside said craft, I suppose is what I'm trying to say. So maybe it's the theme of it, maybe it's because I enjoy the potential of the boarding, maybe it's a mix of all that and the shroud effect. Who knows? There's something I just like to this fleet, at least the boarding centric one I've been experimenting all this time. But we are going to mix up a little bit in that I'm going to be switching back to Drukhari for my YouTube video, and hell, it's not going to be the triple battleships as we're used to. In fact, I kind of feel like there's some real promise with the Shadow Lances, if for nothing else than to snipe down frigates. Hell, it's nowhere near as impactful as the Pulsars, it goes without saying, simply because they have, instead of 20 seconds, they got what, 6 seconds and only 24 damage for each shot, so they're not really going to instantly kill frigates, but the convenience of their tracking senses increasing the Lance's range, never mind the fact it does double damage as a result of that, does make it a lot more convenient for me. It helps minimize the risk quite a bit, especially since my battleship, more often than not, I give it extended range to help be a nuisance, kind of do the similar role to the Void Stalker. Although it remains to be seen what purpose does this fleet serve as opposed to the Void Stalker and my Aurors? That's the honest question that I'm just now coming to a realization about. But they still have good boarding, they still have good troop resilience if nothing else. They're just going to die to actual macro weaponry, which is a bit of the problem there. But we're going to play around with this some more, and then we're going to get back to usual business, as it were. At least, that's the idea, at least, until we get our season reset. So let's have some fun in the meantime. Oh, well, this is going to be an awkward start. A little bit. Because in all honesty, the main problem the Eldari have with Tyranids in general is just the convenience of their double rushing. Let's not even talk about the Void Lurker, that could be a bit of a problem. But hey, I do at least have my vision of 3 frigates to help spot them. Maybe my opponent, well, let's see, I don't even know. What kind of opponent are we up against? I think it's CO Talk. I think I played against him before, I just honestly couldn't remember. If I were to be serious, but there is a decent chance I could reveal them. Hell, this is a good opportunity to demonstrate a little bit of a trick with Drukhari, if I utilize it properly, that none of the other factions can really do, at least not in a convenient manner. Actually, what's going on here? Oh. I'm trying to wonder, I don't see their stances for some reason. It's telling me that they have tracking senses on, but I'm not seeing the overlay. And it's weirding me out right now. Otherwise, I think I want the Dark Matter Cannon a little bit, since it does reduce the speed of the rush, if only a tiny bit. There's just... I'm just wondering what else would be good. Disruption Bomb might be great, but again, Spear Crystal Lenses, that might not be as big of an issue. And we do have Gas Clouds as well I want to utilize to the best of my ability. Okay, now it's showing me the stances. That freaked me out for a good while. I wasn't sure what was happening there, if I were to be serious. Otherwise, we're going to take our time here. There's no need to rush, because this can very easily go badly for me. In all seriousness, but we'll see if I can hear them coming, if I can see any indication of the fighters. So we know where one hive ship is. That helps a notable amount.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
And there's no need to rush, I can just... Well, I can maybe grab this one objective and be fast enough, although the problem is, I don't know if their rushes are silenced or not. That's the big scare. I think they rushed, because in all honesty, I don't think a hive ship could grab that quickly enough, if I were to be serious. But I have a way to know if they're within proximity. I haven't heard any tracking senses, though. So, they don't have the extended sensor range is what I'm going to get at there. But, we're going to find out in a moment here. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to hopefully demonstrate. Okay, I wonder if you know what I'm trying to do here. I'm deliberately turning off my shadow field. Take a guess why I'm doing that. And I'll explain it later, because this is going to be a tense match regardless. But with 2 objectives, I do have the points lead for now.
What is your wish?
And then we'll just keep tabs on everything. I wasn't watching for fighters the best and all that, so... And I gotta make sure these have nice long movements, so that way my shadow field is not quite being deactivated. I don't want to give away my position too much if I can help it. And I might as well put you in a separate hot group, or hotkey group, control group, whatever I'm trying to say, I don't know anymore. And it might be easier to group this up. It's not very often I do this as a 4th group, so I'm a little bit worried I might mess up the control a bit. Alright. So we got vision of... Oh, Massive Claw. So maybe I do recognize this player, but... It goes without saying, with Massive Claw, I do terribly feel bad for him. Because this may not be pretty for that reason. Just because of the melee requirement that's needed. But at the same time, they can mark me, and I don't like being marked. Especially with my flagship. Actually...
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Okay. It's time to run there, because my flagship is likely getting pretty close to getting spotted. Yep. Take pointers, folks. Take some pointers, because that's a big deal to note. That may have averted a potential disaster for me right there. Now, let's just kill these off, and they did burn a rush. Damn it! That was not what I wanted to do. I thought I did false maneuver, but I think I hit this this ship logo icon. That's probably what happened there, and I feel really bitter about that. Since that was not what I wanted to slice, but we could still work with this. Especially with your Massive Claw now gone. Can we kill you quickly with you having no rushes? I think we can. And you are the flagship as well, let's keep that in mind. So a killing blow on you is a must. Oh god. I didn't realize how close to potential death I was right now. Because if this was Pyre Asset, that would have been painful right there. But at the same time, it's also a light cruiser, so who am I kidding? Hell, I didn't even use my beacon in all honesty. So they don't have the means to regenerate, so I think we need to force them to break morale. It's going to be tricky to do, but again, they have a 75 bravery modifier, so I think I can afford taking a little bit of damage here. It's just really damn risky. It goes without saying. Especially now that they're turning. Feral Instinct, I will happily take that. Now, the more of these battleships we could deal with, the better. Oops, and I fired torpedoes on the wrong ships. And actually, you basically take the double morale damage. So we are getting Feral Instincts. We are just a little bit cornered, and this is going to hurt. It's not very often you get to see called arms on Eldari ships in general, but it's pretty damn important to sort of minimize that damage a bit. Now, what's left? Just these 2 ships, so we're free to fire. I just gotta set my fire at will or lock on target to help at least focus on the ships that I should be shooting at, if at all possible. And let's see, extra damage, even though it's not much damage, will be important too. I apologize to my opponent. It's hard to visualize how this would play as if this was a Pyre Asset type of fleet, but hopefully you can appreciate the strategy I put into this, with deliberately turning off my shadow field, since it has some real practicality for Drukhari, almost exclusively. let's be serious, they're the only ones that can actively turn off their assault running at will.
You have accumulated 50% of
I don't want to
strategic
feel like a
points.
jerk. I applaud them for trying with the massive claws, but if I reveal you ahead of time, it is not likely to go well. That is the sad truth there, and I hate to ruin their day. But at the same time, I am a little bit worried if this catches on, if all Drukhari start utilizing this, because then you can sort of metagame it a little bit. If we're doing Shroud Wars or Stealth Wars with, or any playing against any faction also relies on heavy stealth play, you could just hang back and then the Drukhari can deliberately reveal their positioning for you if they're deliberately doing that maneuver. So there's going to be a weird strategy coming along if that's like a main tactic Drukhari does. Okay, chaos this time around. So a lance type fleet can be very painful if I let them spot my cruisers or even the flagship. Sure, I may have slightly less range than them. Well, actually, I would have the same range on my battleship. Their lances are going to hit harder just because they have more of them. I don't quite have that convenience, but it's definitely prime opportunity to shoot them down with torpedoes if I ever get an engine critical hit. That is what I'm going to be going for with these cruisers. Have them set to reload. Yeah, ideally, the plan has always been to use these cruisers to grab the objectives, so that way I can have the battleship and the frigates kind of get as aggressively far forward as possible, at least, to allow for them to, I maybe snipe frigates, but that was like a lifetime ago almost. The meta and people, how everyone plays the game is definitely a lot more refined and probably more figured out, you would think. In general, anyway. I don't know who my opponent is exactly, so if they're like a newer player who got this on a sale, is less experienced, we could still benefit from that, but the point of what I'm trying to say is that is probably no longer a valid way to at least effectively snipe the frigates. Sure, they are definitely not likely to expect me going in so aggressively, and at least be there so much more quicker, just because of said Shadow Field, or at least not Shadow Field but Mimic Engine, this extra deployment. Since this is what, 4,000 extra spaces, so for a battleship at least that's about a little bit around 15-16 seconds almost, is how much time that saves me. And it may not be that significant if I burn a Wraithbone shift, so actually, if possible, I would like to group these all up and have this in one great big boost. Which, at least that way, it helps drown out the sound of these ships a little bit. Maybe not much, they could still pinpoint the ships there. So I'm trying to sound too clever, and it's probably irrelevant. It probably doesn't matter in all seriousness, but that's the idea. Ah, God. I want to type something, but let's actually play a real game.
What is your wish?
Alright then. This is all the fun and games over with now. The dick. Although, we see potentially the frigates here. So, we're not seeing it run? Yeah, because Chaos doesn't really have anything that could conceal the ships with. So this is a bit of an odd thing to see. I'm just wondering how I should take this. Because there still could always be frigates hidden, but I'm only seeing, what, 3 frigates? So these could still very well be Acrons and a Desolator. In all seriousness, and hell, I should try and grab this one ship as well, or one point. I completely was not even looking at the map at all. Stupid me, I could have easily grabbed this. Hell, I should seriously try and grab it. But I would love to try snipe down these frigates. Although with Hellbringer light, they're coming at me, so I'm sadly shooting at the wrong target there, probably because of range and the awkward arc, but I can at least grab these objectives. I am marked though, but again, not a huge issue yet, so long since these are only light cruisers. I just wish my cruisers were able to support the best. And I am marked for about 40 seconds, so I am kind of free to just fire all day. Well, that's about to change quickly because of these bombers. And you're about to grab the objective, so let's get going quickly.
You have seized a strategic area.
What aids the Cabal?
Nope, that's gonna hurt a bit. Just because my move aura was completely expended, so that's what happened there. So they naturally went after the target I had locked on. But the mark's about to fade. It'll be some time till my cruisers get here, but I have 3 objectives to 1. It's just my Shadow Lances that are probably hit the wrong target, just because of their arc. It's shooting at this first because, well... Oh, I'm shooting at the frigate still. That might be a good idea still, to blind their vision a bit. And you can get on out. There's still at least one more frigate about to be mindful of. Oh, get moving. Get moving. I'm doing a bad job with control, but this very beginning of this match has been all messed up just a tiny bit. And we have a battleship there. One more frigate that can likely mark me. But we at least see it, so I got that going for me. Now, can we... ideally, I want to snipe the frigate. And that is very damn well possible with the battleship. And thankfully, that paid out amazingly. Because if that's the last frigate, guess what? They have no scanner pulses. It's just a matter of making sure my attacks hit. I am going to lose... Oh, okay, I was going to say there was maybe a 3rd frigate there. Nope, not quite true. Oh, and I'm getting shot, hit... yeah. That might be a narrow arc at work there that could be hindering me a bit. I need to look at that and make sure. If I can kill this, that will help a ton. Since I technically won't need these frigates anymore. Ah, God, that sucks. The debris got in the way again. And I saw that false maneuver with you, too. That is a bit of a mess, sadly. But you already spent your torpedoes. I got a lot more weaponry where that came from, at least. And let's actually get these frigates to survive. And that may have been a bad torpedo salvo because of the stasis bomb. Well, they technically still hit, so... Not very well, but they still damn well hit. So let's correct this some, because now I'm just getting sloppy after what may have been a mind-blowing experience potentially with my Tyranid game, just because if you may not have knew of that little tactic, that would probably change and revolutionize how you play Drukhari from here on out. Possibly. It still would definitely be damn well difficult still against Tyranids, just because their double rushing the Void Lurker can easily single-handedly ruin your day if you're caught off guard. But let's see, I can dark matter cannon you pretty quickly, and I'm basically losing all my objectives too. So this thing needs to die now. Gonna get bored. That is slowed down some. Okay. Can my cruisers do the damage needed? Yes, they can. Ooh. Both of them got engine damage on them. That I was not expecting. But we need to kill these quickly. For this to really matter. Actually, yeah, let me just stasis bomb those 2 behind me. I think those are like Hades. But with the torpedoes, if I shoot this properly... Hell, let me just focus the deck down. Maybe this will break completely, because they did after all lose their rally. Did I fire torpedoes? Well, I guess that answers my question, even though we technically did not even see them. That's how precise that torpedo salvo was, so I am quickly redeeming myself after what was an abysmal start. And I don't want to go after... Oh, God. I thought I had Wraithbone Shift available for my battleship, so when I realized it was still on cooldown, that's when the panic kicked in. And your crew is pretty much dead. I just gotta let you live for now. And otherwise, these are Hades. Okay, so they are probably the more at least the ones I should be most afraid of, just because of their potential to chase me while still shoot at very respectable amount of damage.
What aids the Cabal?
But with no frigates, my life gets a little bit easier.
How may I serve?
Yeah, your crew is gone until reactivated.
Hear us forevermore.
Now I just need an opportunity to shoot you.
One of your strategic areas.
In all honesty, I should go after isolate ships.
How may I
Because I do need to grab objectives too, since I am going to lose almost all my objectives here, with that said. So I should not play with my food too much. I got a massive momentum swing right now, after all.
Your strategic areas.
So I gotta take full advantage of that. Ideally by murdering this thing. And your engines are prioritized.
is all?
It is an honest question if
The
I go
enemy
after
has
these
seized a
objectives or not,
strategic area.
since they are quite out of the way after all.
We move.
And of course, okay, you're the one that has lowest health and you're closest, so you might as well go to grab that objective for me.
The enemy has seized a strategic
Engine critical hit,
area.
perfect. Now what's left is destroy the deck for me. And that might just break from the deck being destroyed. Although I think they only lose half the morale of the current morale when the deck dies. Oh no, I'm wrong.
We bring death.
Grab this.
The Cabal is all.
Oh god. Don't ram into the building, the structure. And let's try win this. Let's finish this up. I already have a point lead. Damn it, this mutiny ship's actually keeping me from grabbing the point.
Is it please you?
Alright, keep moving. Pretend I'm not even here. If that's... Oh, I lost my reload, so let's fix that.
We move.
And I am actually getting shot, so I need the shadow field back on. I've been playing with this dang light cruiser too long.
You have seized a strategic area.
Nope, guess I'm not going to deactivate that, but I got this one here. That shadow field's active, so... Oh, and I'm flying back into debris again. We know how this is going to go. Well, it wasn't terrible. It's just not as much damage as it could have been. And I have no way to support the flagship just because of the 9,000 range. Oh, and it's currently in a gas cloud too, so let's not get complacent. But maybe I can recapture this objective in a moment. Yeah, especially since you're flying away.
Cabal is all. Engines to
Maybe this may be a frustrating portion, but that's kinda what happens a lot of the time when you lose your frigate and well, their flagship's also gone, so maybe my opponent had a beacon. It's hard to say at this point. But yeah,
with all speed.
it's really damn safe for me
You have
just
seized
because
a
of their lack of
strategic
vision.
area.
It can easily be frustrating though.
We shall
We've even seen videos of me trying to deal with Drukhari without any vision of any sort. It's basically
You have
single-handedly cost me a match
75%
against,
of
was it
strategic
Mata,
points. You
Mata,
have
whatever his
seized a
name is,
strategic area.
when I play as Adeptus Mechanicus one time there.
How may I
And
serve?
I was stomping their fleet because got good Novacan hits, but when I lost vision, their last battleship with like 100 health just won the match because how quickly they could grab objectives from me in all seriousness. And also, it's in the gas cloud, isn't it?
What is
Since I don't have frigates of my own, this could easily be the same story for me.
set?
Because I would have to get in point blank range to spot them.
How may I serve?
You have seized a strategic
Now
area.
I do not want to get revealed.
We bring death.
I think I'm gonna get revealed. Actually, let's just keep this straight, stop stutter stepping, stop side strafing,
We shall flay them all.
and maybe start shooting them from behind.
What aids the Cabal?
Yeah, that was close there with me getting spot, but yeah.
Are unset.
Let's see, and this match will be over momentarily. It's just really hard for me to do damage, just because of how spread I am.
You are close. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Yeah, was a bit of an awkward exchange for me. I feel like anyway, because if I try and stay and fight, then I leave myself really damn vulnerable. Oh god.
Your wish.
Oh god. That could have been nightmarish.
What is your wish?
Because, yeah, it makes a world difference, just a lot of it, because of the shields. when their engines are gone, that helps a ton. Although, I should have fired torpedoes.
Let the engines scream.
I could still correct this wrong.
I cannot. With all speed.
Not quite enough damage though, so we're gonna have to finish this.
Sowing terror. Their fear is sweet. We move.
You're gonna get the boarding. Thankfully not the ram. But, if nothing else, that kind of demonstrates where Drukhari can get really damn awkward. Since I didn't feel comfortable actually engaging him, because if I stop moving to kind of maximize and do the best damage possible, that of course turns off my shadow fields, which leaves me incredibly vulnerable to their long range fire. Which is more, in a lot of circumstances, is easily going to do more damage than me, or than I do to them. Unless I got my cruisers in a good angle to hit them with torpedoes. That would probably be the exception. So yeah, I apologize if that may have been frustrating for my opponents, since that tends to be how it is a lot of the time when you lose your vision. I have the freedom to kind of just pick and choose my engagements, and of course as a result they may not be the most exciting thing to play against. Or even to watch, I would argue. Okay, Eustace. I remember this name a little bit. It's the usual Adeptus Mechanicus, though, I'm gonna imagine. So, this could potentially go well if I can pinpoint where their frigates are. This is another example where using my kind of briefly revealing my ships can be helpful to pinpoint them for at least an accurate type of scanner pulse. It just ultimately comes down to if I'm in a good position to kind of snipe it down or at least kill it quickly. Especially if I'm remembering correctly, Eustace had like the really fragile type of frigate with 200 health and maybe even the 50 armor, so I don't need to tell you how quickly that'll die if I can focus a lot of my ships onto it, and as when it gets revealed at least. So that's something we're going to have to experiment with, and I might as well reveal my ships, or at least the flagship and all that. Take advantage of both the battleship can grab both these points without even trying, in all honesty, to an extent. I'm just gonna be really fragile if I get, like all the other matchups, I'm gonna take a lot of damage once I get spotted really quickly. Yeah, the battleship is all that needs to be revealed, I suppose, if I were to be honest. Hell, it can almost grab all three of those points, but by the third point is probably when I'm going to get really close to the frigate, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. What about upgrades and skills? I like slow them down, but they don't really have torpedoes, it's mostly ramming I should be concerned about, maybe. So do I really need a stasis bomb? Wraith bone reinforcement might be good in this case, hard to say. Well, stasis bomb would be good. It's a Dark Matter cannon I may not need as much, but it can do a ridiculous... It can do decent damage over the full 45 seconds, but with 25% slow speed, it doesn't really matter, does it now? So we'll stick with the heavy armor for when I'm ready to commit. Oh, and I didn't realize you were all set.
Aids the cabal.
And so far, this looks like the norm. I'll prioritize maybe the generators on the flagship.
You have seized a strategic area.
Nope. And I forgot to give you a control group, silly me. I'll prioritize generators on whichever one's the flagship. Hell, maybe I could prioritize tech on something too. But that won't do me a lot of good with Rally being available.
We shall slay them all. We move.
And we'll have this one try and spot the frigate for me, and ideally have everything ready to kill said frigate when I spot it. Ideally.
The cabal
And
is all.
depending on how this plays out, I probably will just conveniently fly over towards this one objective.
I serve.
And only thing I need to know is maybe a mission anticipator, so I should try listening
Cabal is all.
for a booster attempt of some kind.
You have seized a strategic
Since
area.
if this is a Nova, it'll be up here pretty quickly.
With all speed.
And I like to get my frigates in position.
Aids the cabal.
Nope. If anything, that might have signified they had extended sensor range as one of their
The
upgrades,
enemy
though.
has seized a strategic
If I were to
area.
get identified.
We bring death.
But I can kind of rest easy, sort of. knowing that they're not within 9,000 range.
Halt! If it please you,
That's what I'm talking about there.
slay them all. Agree.
This thing's likely gonna die, but maybe I could get out of range. That would be the main thing.
How may I serve?
Because that's dead.
With all
If that's 5 Nova cannons with a flagship, with a battleship rather, then that in theory should be the only frigate. Yep.
heavy damage.
Yeah.
All decks.
Well, you're about to burn to death, so no point. Well,
Cabal is all.
because as soon as I execute, you're likely going to get on fire even more. Never mind break again.
You will not perish for this.
Now, with them blinded, I just got to get a good attack run on them. Again, this is... I'm not even seeing a beacon in all seriousness, so this is possibly going to be another case of not a very interesting matchup, possibly. Possibly.
Cabal.
But I'm not going to worry about objectives at the moment.
Scream.
If anything, if I'm going to worry about objectives, I might have my cruisers grab their one.
What
In all seriousness, I want to be ready to do potential damage on their ship. Because I'm about to identify in a moment.
all. I see slaves to be
And I am taking asteroid belt damage, let's keep that in mind too. With 50 armor, that is likely going to hurt a lot.
let the engines scream.
So, I am not going to overlook that.
How may I serve?
And I am actually going to reveal my battleship, so let me try to get a little bit closer.
Cabal is all.
Have my cake and eat it too, as it were.
Fear our onset.
As far as grabbing the objective is what I mean. Oh, it actually finally burnt to death. Okay. Or it disengaged. It actually survived. Wow.
I see slaves to be claimed. Agreed.
Oh yeah, I forgot to lock on target, so that was a bit of a mistake.
You have seized a strategic area.
And I will take one of these hits. Although, damn it, this is why I need to be paying attention.
We shall slay.
Because I gave away where all my cruisers are and ruins a lot of the element of surprise. But it could work in my advantage some.
What is your wish?
Yeah, your engine's permanently gone.
We bring.
I would love to continue hitting you.
We move.
Let me actually turn on lock on and see if this can be consistent and reliable for me. Actually, yeah, I can't grab the objective just because of that.
What aids the cabal? We bring death.
And I am currently in... Well, actually, they can't see me, so I could just boost out easily.
Is your wish?
I just would have liked to kill the engines. At least get a permanent engine critical hit.
With all speed.
And I'm doing a bad job with these frigates as well.
Slay them all.
Your shields are recharged, but
Let the engines
that's not a big issue yet.
What aids the cabal?
Let's just take advantage again of them not taking their engines very seriously. Or not engines, but their fission. That's what's gonna kill them most. Let's not kid ourselves. And I
You
could
have
board it.
accumulated 25% of strategic points.
This is a good opportunity to grab this objective.
How may I serve?
How are you visible?
With all speed.
Did you stop moving? Oh, you stopped moving probably because of the flagship in the way. That might have been what happened there, dang it.
We shall slay them all.
So I might as well grab this objective quickly. I am going to take a little bit of damage, but I'm abusing the one weakness that they have, since you'd be surprised on how many people don't take their vision seriously, even when they know they're face off against Drukhari.
Fear our onset.
And since they're flying away from me, this is like the best I could ask for. Free objective to capture. Yep, and I'm hitting the wrong target there last. I could have just flew away a bit and just kept my distance some.
Agree.
Not the most convenient, but
I serve.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas. You have seized a strategic
now
area.
it's just turn. If they continue to fire, then I'm in good shape here.
Let the engines
And actually holding fire would be a great way to actually make sure this is shooting at what it needs to. Since then... Okay, maybe focus fire is a little inconsistent. Okay, I'm just gonna have to experiment with that some to really see why that seems to be as unreliable. Because it worked fine with the scythe missiles, but that could easily been range.
Their torment is our delight. With all speed.
Alright, that should fix that issue. You killed your generator, that's like... Ooh, and actually I want to get into Stasis Bomb. Maybe not with Novacans possibly, about threatening to fire at me, but... That easily fixed that, didn't it?
What is your wish?
The enemy has seized a strategic
That could have
area.
still been pretty damn fatal. Since they still, after all, have more Novacans to shoot at me.
We shall flay
But I feel like that was a adequate enough bait.
What aids the Cabal? With all speed.
And I like to somehow kill... I want to force this to at least break. Force you to use a rally of some kind.
What is your wish?
I don't think I can do that, though. Not enough firepower on these frigates to really matter. I am going to lose the objective, but I have a nice point lead as well. I just got to cripple these things enough to make it matter. Which I'm about to do really easily.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Since, at the very least, we're going to kill this one ship. Do I follow up on the other one?
Let us bring
And by that I mean try and do more damage once that ship's destroyed.
what aids the Cabal. Agreed.
2 fire assaults, enough scythe missiles to kind of punish them in that matter.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Agreed.
It's still a very tense match with that said.
If it please you.
But I still have 2 objectives there too.
With all speed. Engines to overload.
And this is a good opportunity to grab this point.
The Cabal is
Again, maybe not the most exciting to watch, because after all, there is very little risk if I play this properly. There is no real tension for me, and that kind of sucks for a few inexperience.
bring death.
I just wish people take their
What aids
take this a little more seriously, but hell, I'll just grab
death?
the objective and that'll be it there.
What aids the Cabal?
Since you want to boost away and all that, fine. Hell, I can use these frigates to grab the 1 point way over there. Just take full advantage of this.
With all speed. The Cabal is all.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas. You have seized a strategic area.
With all speed.
My. Not really much else to say. It's just following the rhythm,
The
and
enemy has seized a
my
strategic
battleship doesn't
area.
quite have enough damage to really be threatening. Not yet.
Let the engines scream.
That's a lot of the problems here. I need to grab objectives because it helps force my opponent to kind of be encouraged to spread out. Because this deathballing makes it difficult for me to actually punish them. At least for the moment. And they have additional point defense, so you would think my torpedoes would not be very effective. And actually, what I would love to do is maybe try and get this battleship behind them. Use that as the bait, and actually let's prioritize our targets properly.
What is your
I thought maybe my focus fire would work pretty damn well, but I don't know why the lance there seems a little inconsistent.
with all speed?
Either way, I'm not going to get the angle I want with the battleship yet. Hell, I almost wonder if I want to get the battleship itself.
What aids the
It's the bigger ship, it's the slower ship.
if it please you?
And right now, I'm in a prime opportunity. That wasn't what I wanted, but
Savor their dread.
The enemy has accumulated 25%
that may have worked somewhat in my
strategic
advantage,
points.
so
Let the engines scream.
if only I hadn't revealed that ship, that might have been good.
Cabal is all.
Yep, and you're gonna be concealed, so firing is kind of pointless.
How may
It's just because I'm in front of them. Because after all, I need to keep moving to keep shooting, and well, my Shadowlance, my battleship can do damage, but
slay them all?
it's just not going to be enough damage, isn't it? At least on the battleship, which has 800 shield health, but
The Cabal is all.
I could do... I am tempted to shoot at them, but I know the battleship's in here. That's the only problem right now. As soon as I reveal myself, this battleship may even just charge right at me.
You have seized a strategic area.
And now I'm wishing I had my frigates here to kind of open up for that possibility. But hey, if I could sneak past these, that's not a big deal.
Unleash the dark.
Just gotta be willing to commit to this, because this looks like a prime opportunity to do damage.
The Cabal is all.
Not quite. Not with them all suddenly turned around. What I want to do is wait for them to boost.
Engines to overload. Agreed.
That's what I would love right now. Just wait for the boost and then punish
Accumulated
them
75%
immediately.
strategic points.
This could be amazing if I can get right behind them. Because of the amount of combustion gauge they'll have to burn for this said maneuver.
How may I serve?
Alright. Moment of truth. And stasis bomb is gonna hold them in place.
We move.
You cannot use your 2 Nova cannons there, but I gotta make this count now.
Is your wish? Agreed.
And we'll go for a double whammy here.
I cannot. Coming about. What aids the Cabal? They must kill us forevermore.
You are close to
Well,
victory by
I got
75
myself a kill.
points.
We got some really good boring damage, but I didn't bore with everything was the big downside there. But that burnt a lot. Well, actually, I'm gonna get a board in pretty quickly here, I think.
The Cabal is all.
I just gotta watch for this battleship. Actually, yep, victory's already mine, pretty much.
Unleash the dark.
Nope, good thing I heard that hum, because that was the only reason I saw that maneuver coming.
What is your
If I were to be serious. And the crew's gone there, and this is already a victory. Even if this dies or not. Oh, damn it, I am messing up with my control here some.
complete?
Which thankfully is not the death of me. Ooh, and it turned off one of their Nova cannons.
How may I serve?
So that is game. A frustrating experience for my opponents, though.
What is your wish?
In a weird way, in an odd way, I'm kind of thankful this video's over. Because all I'm doing right now is probably frustrating these people.
The Cabal.
And I want to argue it's their own undoing rather than my fault. Since again, a single frigate, no beacon, even though a beacon's effectiveness would be arguably, wouldn't really do a whole lot in all seriousness. But still, I like to think that was just being greedy with getting as much power as possible and have nothing to support it, or at least augment it. Never mind, improved auger array is quite frankly, a useless ability for something that relies on solid running, since that allows you to identify ships, not reveal them.